I don't think he noticed. Looks like you pulled off another magic disappearing act.
Did I do alright?
You did a fine job, little one.
Okay, let's hurry back to our time. We have to rescue Miss Camilla.
You're right, Missile. And there's a certain guy I have to follow too. Then back again. Is he still on the phone? No, he has already left. After completing his revenge on Inspector Cabanilla, the man in red left. And now a new story is about to unfold in a new present.
How are you feeling, you old crazy character?
Hey there, Prof. We're both alive, I see. Yeah, nothing like it, baby. But I don't know if I'm getting old or what. I've got a few aches and pains here and there.
Yeah, you still have got 5 broken ribs.
Used to be a little thing like an explosion wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, right. Like I'm going to believe that. So what? The guy in red is gone, eh?
Just in case, I posted special investigation units all around the building. Let's just pray the boyos came through for us. Damn it! You picked a bad time not to listen to me, body of mine.
Yeah, no smooth moves for you in the foreseeable future. Well, it looks like both of their deaths were erased. Unfortunately, in case of the Inspector in white, I can't call it a complete success. But in any case, these two have the information I need to start tracking the manipulator. I'd better talk to them. Yeah, and I probably should also do a world tour. Oh, and I can talk to Missile.
Alright, Cecil, it's time to go. Out into the big wide world to rescue Miss Camilla.
Hold on a minute, Missile. I have to talk to these two first.
No, okay, I understand. But just know one thing. I go where the wind takes me.
Is this little doggy trying to put the pressure on me? Nope, I kinda want to first look at the telephone and do a little world tour. Be right back. Oh yeah, we can inform the minister.
How's it going? What's the situation?
It looks like it's all coming to an end.
It is? Don't hesitate to...
Oh, okay, that's the same. I hoped we could have just informed them. Oh yeah, by the way, Cabanella isn't evil. But we cannot. Well, there's literally nothing in the whole wide world.
If I knew things were going to end up like this, I would have tried to die in that explosion, baby. That way I could have been dancing after Big Red by now.
I might be able to erase deaths, but it's true I can't do much about injuries. But really, you shouldn't talk that way.
Yes, sorry. I suppose you're right. I just hate feeling so helpless. He was right there, within my grasp. All our plans were resting on tonight, and then this had to happen.
I guess he's thinking about his spotless record. It's not too late, Inspector. We still have a chance. Maybe I can catch him.
Say, you're right. That's not a bad idea. I'll cooperate with you fully. Go ahead and fire away any questions you like, Mr. Ghost.
Okay, starting with revenge. That guy mentioned revenge. Revenge against the people who stole his life away 10 years ago.
Huh, he's a fool. He's the one who made the decision to take that little girl hostage, and he wound up dead. He only has himself to blame.
But what about when he said this? I was murdered by all of you. Detective Jowd, who forced me into a corner. Lynn, the little girl who was playing in the park. And finally, you, Inspector Cabanella. If you hadn't done what you did, I never would have pointed a gun at that kid.
Oh, perceptive. I didn't even remember that. ...
Yes, 10 years ago on that day, the Special Investigations Unit was working on a certain big case. We hauled in a young man, an important witness to our investigation. And then I did it. I made 2 very stupid mistakes.
Detective, I'm telling ya, I don't know anything about it.
Fine, fine. You're under no obligation to talk, of course. But if you don't, the Special Investigations Unit can make the rest of your life a living hell.
Ooh, that's very corrupt.
But I'd just been assigned to the Special Investigations Unit, you see. They didn't share much info on big cases with a newbie like me yet, and I wanted to impress them. It was only supposed to be a simple matter of taking a statement. But I was too green. I pushed him too hard, drove him into a corner, and made him lose all hope. That was my first mistake. And then I made another mistake on top of that.
Cabanella, got a minute? The chief wants to see you about your report.
Got it! I'll be right there. You stay right here and be a good boy now.
And he left.
And that's when I did it. I left it behind in the interrogation room. My gun.
How could you?
He used my gun to escape. What he said is true. If I hadn't made that mistake, he never would have had a gun to point at Lynn in the first place.
Yeah. Okay, the question becomes, I mean, it's pointless now, but the question still is, was Sissel actually innocent? Because Cabanella framed it like he was. Huh? He said, yeah, he was an important witness. Not that he was in any way or shape or form a criminal involved in whatever case they were investigating back then.
This spotless record of yours, is it really that important to you?
Of course, baby. In some ways, it's more important to me than my life.
Than your life, eh?
After all, it's because of my record that I'm able to get my hands on all intel as head of the Special Investigations Unit. And because of my position, I get to direct all aspects of the investigation into the manipulator case.
Gasp.
The manipulator case? That's why you cared about your record so much? ...
Of course! Why else, baby? I just never could believe it, man. Jowd shooting Alma. I didn't care that he confessed. There was definitely something more to the story. Some secret. I did everything I could to climb the ladder. Everything in my power. And then finally, I found the answer. It took 5 long years though. The manipulator. He's going to prove that Jowd is innocent.
What incredible determination!
Okay, so he was a good guy. He all did it for friendship. I mean, yeah, in some ways he probably didn't learn his lesson from his mistakes back then, since those were also because he wanted to impress higher-ups, and he is basically still doing that. So... But his record is spotless, so he has to be doing something right.
We first found out about the manipulator's existence during a...
Oh god. I skipped that. How can I go back? I don't know. Oh, like this.
We first found out about the manipulator's existence during a certain overseas communication.
Overseas communication?
For national security purposes, this country keeps tabs on the communication networks. This particular communication was about making a deal with a certain foreign country. He said he wanted them to buy him and his powers. That's how we first heard about him. Of course, we didn't know what he looked like at the time. And in order to prove these powers of his, he gave them 2 predictions. He foresaw 2 completely preposterous impossible cases.
Yeah. Like the rocker and the curry lover, right?
The case of a man who would sing national secrets during a live rock concert broadcast. And the case of a man who would take the chief commissioner hostage in his own office.
Those 2 inmates at the special prison, eh?
We kept tabs on their communications and launched an investigation. And then finally, we pinpointed where they're going to meet tonight and staked it out.
Jesus Christ. Speaking as Cabanella so much is really drying up my voice.
That restaurant, the Chicken Kitchen. The manipulator plans on leaving this country tonight. On a submarine that belongs to the other country in this deal.
Submarine?
But we haven't been able to find out where it's going to surface. It's terrifying to think what would happen if his powers were to fall into their hands. Right. It's unlikely they'd use them for peaceful purposes. And now they have that little girl as a hostage.
Camilla.
We have to stop him before he leaves the country.
There's one thing I just don't understand. If you were so determined to help Detective Jowd, why didn't you help him escape from prison?
That's an easy one, baby. Escaping from prison is a crime.
Gasp.
I wasn't about to help him commit a crime after spending 5 years trying to prove him innocent.
Coincidentally, I believe in my country, it is not a crime to escape from prison. Because it is argued that desiring to be free and freedom are basically just human nature. So, trying to escape from prison isn't actually a crime. They will still pursue you and like lock you back up again if you escape from prison. Like, no mistake about that. But the simple act of escaping prison is not a crime. Helping someone escape a prison is a crime. So yes, Cabanella would have made himself guilty if he did that. But, at least in my country, but I don't believe escaping prison is a crime.
And he himself asked to be executed, you know. As a man of the law, I had to make sure the execution was stopped legally. And that's why I brought him before the Justice Minister too. I needed to buy as much time as I possibly could, baby.
So that's it, eh? But there's one little unfortunate result of all this. Lynn completely misunderstood your intentions.
Ha! What's a little misunderstanding? My baby will come back around, give it time. But there are more important things to do with our time tonight.
Apparently, backing out of this conversation. Oh, I can still talk to him and it's separate, okay.
Mr. Superintendent, do you mind if I talk to you for a minute?
I haven't always been a junkyard superintendent, you know. I used to be part of the police.
The police, huh?
Not as a detective, but as a medical examiner. I investigated victims' causes of death. 10 years ago, I was asked to autopsy a strange corpse. Hit by a meteorite fragment and died instantly.
That's what the police report said.
Oh yeah, it's the morgue. In the special prison, for some reason.
There were no signs of life. He was definitely dead. But I never filed an autopsy report. That's because the corpse suddenly vanished, leaving behind only one clue.
An unusual corpse. I bet that's what I've been chasing all night. Could you tell me more?
Yeah, sure. I have an interest in you recovering your memory and finding your true identity too. That's the only way I can describe it too. It was an unusual corpse. He was dead alright, no question about that. But there wasn't a scratch on him.
So he can regenerate. Okay, interesting.
Not a scratch, but I thought he was hit by a meteor fragment.
I don't understand it any more than you do. I was completely bewildered, but when I tried to autopsy him, I was even more puzzled. I couldn't perform the autopsy.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
The scalpel went in, but I couldn't cut. As soon as I tried to make an incision, it would heal up the very next instant. And that's how it went, and no scarring or blood either.
Huh, weird.
And I never had the chance to solve the mystery. That's because the corpse up and vanished on us. The morgue is well guarded. Nobody could have stolen that body. But there is one way the corpse could have disappeared.
What's that?
Yeah, just get up and walk away. Yep.
It got up, opened the door, and walked out on his own. What? He was dead, but he wasn't dead. We saw it with our own eyes tonight. Not even that explosion could kill him.
And he didn't even feel it when he slammed his fist on that stove.
The corpse left behind some data from some testing I did. I got some reading from some kind of radiation coming off that body.
Radiation?
Oh, it's the meteor, is it?
I used all kinds of instruments, but I couldn't determine exactly what kind of radiation it was. Some undiscovered type. From a world unknown.
Wait a minute. Could it be?
That's right. It was coming from that meteorite fragment.
So yeah. So the Rock of the Gods basically gives you superpowers. I wonder if it's the cause for his body regenerating, or all the ghost powers that are happening in the city in general.
I went to that park and tested the spot where the meteorite fell. And just as I expected, I detected radiation coming from that crater. It was the exact same pattern of radiation as that of the corpse.
Let's think about that. Because Missile died right on top of this meteorite, so that would track. And Sissel, the one we're playing as, whoever his soul is, probably the cat's, was inside of Evil Sissel's body when he died. Or when he was ejected from his body, basically. So that would track that there is a meteorite fragment inside of Sissel's body. That would trigger the powers of the dead. We still don't really know who Ray is, right? But nobody else got powers of the dead after being dead. Like, not Lynn, not Cabanella, not Jout, nobody. Just people who were in proximity to the meteorites. If we count Ray. Who we don't know who it is.
It was the exact same pattern of radiation as that on the corpse. At the time, I thought he was some kind of immortal being. He would die only to come back to life. I wanted to research it all in depth, so I quit my job as a police medical examiner.
Several years later, I came to learn the connection between my research and the manipulator case. Thanks to the arrival of this crazy character here.
Ooh, stop now, Professor. Do you want to see me blush?
It was about a year ago, I'd say. This man in white came dancing into my research lab here.
I heard there was an oddball here who's researching Temsky. Is that you, baby?
Who are you to be calling anybody an oddball?
I was investigating the manipulator case then. And then I heard there was a man who'd quit the police force to study the meteorite. When I heard that, it was like a meteorite had struck me on the head. At the time, we were just starting to get leads on this manipulator. We didn't know who he was yet. But we knew he was communicating with a certain foreign country.
Why didn't he do that earlier, by the way? Or why didn't he just go on foot there? Is there a problem why he can't do that? Maybe that's why the submarine is needed?
In one of those communications, we heard the manipulator say this. The source of my powers is not of this world. And that's when I put 2 and 2 together, baby. The manipulator case and Temsky were somehow connected.
Which also explains how 5 years ago he used his powers to manipulate a birthday surprise a little girl made for her mother.
He added that gun to the contraption, most likely by controlling Camilla.
That is sick. Especially since Alma was a person that's completely unrelated to his suffering, right? Even from his perspective. So, that contraption in the basement here. You built that to try and help Detective Jowd?
That's right. Jowd and I worked together back when I was with the Force. I used the reports of his case to try and recreate the device. But there was just one part of it that I couldn't reproduce, no matter how hard I tried.
Camilla told Jowd it did something it shouldn't have, made an impossible move.
I added that part to the device I recreated. I put a part that would allow Cupid to rotate, otherwise the gun wouldn't fire.
So that must mean somebody manipulated Camilla's contraption.
As a result, we proved to ourselves that the manipulator actually existed.
Inspector Cabanella!
Hey, baby! Sorry about that phone call. I must have sounded like a real villain. I hated to spoil your image of me. Of that cool cat inspector you always looked up to.
Is that really the image she had of him?
Inspector Cabanella, I'm sorry. I just heard. You were chasing after that man all this time to try and help Detective Jowd.
This manipulator is such a dangerous character. I was hoping you didn't have to be involved.
So that's why you had me arrested tonight, isn't it?
Like I always say, if somebody's in the way, throw him in the slammer.
How did you keep your spotless record with that philosophy? Yikes.
Tonight! I really thought we finally had him. But my body gave out on me right at the critical moment. It's like a cruel joke.
Aha!
But a joke is a joke. You might as well laugh. Jowd!
The minister called off the execution order. And while he was at it, he let Detective Jowd go free until tomorrow morning too.
That is pretty extreme while he was at it. Sorry it took so long to get here. Wow, the gang's all here. Except, oh no, Missile is here too, yes. You can leave the rest to me.
There you go again. You've always been like that. You make everybody else run around, and then you swoop in at the last second.
Oh, he's a kill stealer, or glory stealer in this case. Jode. 5 years ago, you left this coat with me just before you turned yourself in. I promised to give it back to you one day. Yay! With the prison overalls, nice.
I've been waiting so long, Detective Jode. Waiting for this day to come.
Thanks for not giving up on me, Lynn. Hey, his portrait got updated as well. Okay, I'm off then.
Good luck, my old friend.
Wait, no words for me? This present you gave me, it's just what I needed. Thank you.
Glad you like it.
Cecil, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You and I have to find that man. I need your help. Will you do this with me?
Sure, but how? We don't know where the submarine is, and the phone line doesn't work.
They used communication cables to make their calls. We'll get you hooked up somehow. You'll see. Could you wait here until we do, please?
Okay, fine, I'm counting on you.
This true self you're looking for. I bet you find it soon. Alright, I'm leaving, Inspector Cabanela.
It's almost dawn. I'm not who I thought I was. I'm actually further from knowing who I am than ever. But now, I don't feel so alone. Each one of us, for his or her own reason, is looking for the truth. Together, I think we can shed light on these mysteries and drive away the darkness. But it's almost dawn.
Yippee! That's a lot. Yeah, okay, ladies and gents, then I'm going to end today's episode right here. Seems we have another chapter left, and yeah, let's see where this goes. We will have to trick our way through the submarine at some point. I wonder if Missile will be with us from this point forward every time. Would be interesting, but I don't know. I must say I wasn't the biggest fan of today's, puzzle. Because there was a lot of waiting around and waiting for things to happen while you scramble around. But since the ghost vision stops time, you're just like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And it doesn't progress further to let you know, oh, you couldn't do anything at that point anyways. That was a bit scummy on the game's part. So yeah, didn't really enjoy it too much. The whole thing with the woolen hat was cool and all, and it was also kind of not obvious that both of the hats are similar to the bullet in shape. If I think of a bullet, I had the shape of the book in mind. But yeah, I'm guessing once it's outside of the gun, it's only the front part of the bullet that actually gets shot out, right? The rest is ejected from the gun. On the back or side. I never held a gun, so I don't know. So yeah, that was it for today, and I'll hope you'll join me next time when we'll hopefully resolve this whole mess. Until then, I guess...